Hey people, so welcome back. Yes, I've not made a video in a while. I have uploaded, they were old videos. So, there's just a lot to say, I guess. I'm just going to explode and get it off my mind. I read Masha и Медведь. Yes, it's in Russian. I'm reading in Russian now. Probably, maybe you think that's crazy. I don't know. By the way, I live in Moscow, so yes, I'm an English teacher, and I've lived here for 6 years. And I finally realised that I need to learn this language. So yeah, I've just said I'm going to stop reading in English, and I'm going to start reading in Russian, and I'm going to conquer that. I'm going to learn that language. I'm going to do it. And yeah, there's my first fairy tales, Russian fairy tales that I read in Russian, Masha и Медведь, which is basically Goldilocks. She goes into the hut, and just to prove that it's Goldilocks, there's the three bears. So, Masha и Медведь. But my flatmate, who is Russian, said that actually these are not necessarily Russian fairy tales. These are European fairy tales. Obviously, everyone knows them. They've just been translated and handled differently, which is largely true. But there is a Russian TV show, Masha и Медведь, which is Masha and the Bear, which has been based on that. So it's the same story, Goldilocks. Lisey Drojd, which is the fox and the, I don't know what Drojd is, but bird, sparrow kind of thing. Nice interesting one, I've never read that in the UK. The fox drinks kvass, which is a Russian drink made of bread. Lekushka Puteshestvenitsa, which is the travelling frog, which is apparently, according to my flatmate, definitely a Russian fairy tale. Interesting story. The frog decides to... birds come down and land where the frog is, in the swamp. And the frog is at first scared, but then says, "Hey, where do you come from?" And the birds explain, well, you know, we're flying to the south. And the frog says, "Can I come with you?" And the birds say, "How?" And the frog says, "Well, you can get a big durable stick, and two of you can carry it in your beaks. I'll hold on to the middle, and you'll fly me in the air." And so that is exactly what they do. The frog becomes to get a bit scared, and they land, and then the next day they continue on their journey. This time the frog is more certain and more risky and daring, and wants to go low to the ground so that the villagers can see what is happening. And the villagers go, "Oh my God, look, the birds are carrying a frog. Who thought of that?" The frog goes, "Me, me, me." And because the frog opens her mouth, she drops down into the swamp, and the birds think that she dies and they fly off, but actually the frog lands in the new swamp, and she boasts and brags about her journey to the other frogs that are living in the swamp. And that's the story. Maybe there was a moral to it. Don't be so egotistical and don't shout out, "Me, it was me who did it," because you'll fall off. And then there's Kroshishka Havroshishka, which is very similar to the Cinderella story, but there's, because there's the three ugly stepsisters, or they don't say ugly here, but one of them has one eye, one of them's got 2 eyes, and one of them's got 3 eyes. I won't tell you how that goes, you can always research it. Kroshishka Havroshishka. Maybe if you type Russian Cinderella into Google, something will come up. Or, you know, 1 eye, 2 eye, 3 eye. There's a cow and a big tree. It's interesting to read these because I like to study the plot lines and just to see how the stories are built, which will help my writing. And I've already started writing a story which I want to write in the Russian language, which is Yagodka, which means little berry. So it's the first picture book, will be the first picture book that I'm writing. And yeah, I'm going to do that I'm going to write it in English and then I'll translate it into Russian, so I'll write it into Russian. then I hope that I'll be able to get somebody to draw the pictures for that or illustrate it. Maybe I'll do it myself and release it. Maybe then I'll put it out on YouTube. If I one day start a Patreon account, then maybe I can put it on my Patreon account as something extra that all my followers can have. Yeah, my so-called 4 followers, because the other subscribers of my previous channel, because Google locked me out, now I've got to be here. I hope those subscribers will follow me over here, and then maybe I'll just put it out as a PDF file or something. Of course I will translate it into English, and then we'll have a story that was going to be in Russian and English, and so we'll just see how it progresses. We'll just see how that progresses, but it will be nice to write a story in Russian and have some pictures there for that, and maybe turn it into a short book, and it would be nice to have just a copy of that book. So yeah, that's the project really. It's trying to keep learning about stories and keep learning about how plot lines are built, trying to stay committed to that goal which I had, because I do find it interesting to learn about plot lines and stories and how everything's formed. I wanted to just put a short note in here about how my books are going. Obviously I've written my first book, sent it to an editor and had it rejected. Well, no, I mean I had it rejected from the publishers, and then I sent it to an editor and got it all checked, and just the report was like a kick in the teeth, because I realised how much I've got to edit. So I just put it aside and I haven't gone back to it. I spent another 2 years writing a new book about travel and my journey across the Trans-Siberian Express and then through Japan, which I've just finished recently at the beginning of this year, and currently having friends read it and getting feedback for that, and I'm feeling very disappointed because I'm seeing that there is so much work to be done, to actually make it into a new, like a readable, decent book, because there's a lot of stuff that I wrote in there that I'm just relatively unhappy with now that I see that the way that I wrote it thinking that it would be funny and cool, but then the way that my friends perceive it is totally different than how I expected them to perceive it. So the idea that was in my head has not came across, has not been interpreted in the way that I want it. So, for example, the jokes come across as rude. There's a lot of stories in there about Russia that I thought were funny. However, my friends tell me that they've put Russia in a bad light, and I didn't intend to do that, but that's what has happened. So I intended to entertain, to make people laugh, but instead I made people go, ooh, Russia doesn't look like such a good place, and it is. So I'm going to have to do a lot of work on that. I'm going to have to do some rewriting of the chapters and put some new things in and take some old stuff out. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of work, which is extremely disappointing, because I spent 2 years on a book to find out that my friends say, you know what, this is like this, and this needs to go, and you need to put this in here. So it's hard work, man. It's hard work. And I still need to go back to my first book at some point and rewrite it completely. And I need to learn the Russian language, which is extremely, extremely difficult. So yeah, there is a lot of work to be done here. But yeah, there you go. First step in that direction was reading Masha и Медведи, the 4 fairy tales that were in this book, which was from my local library, by the way, so I need to return it soon. And it's cool being able to go to a Russian library and pick up loads of books from there for free, and then being able to study and read on my own, which is super, super cool. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to persevere, learn this language, going to carry on writing, hopefully. We'll see what's going to come in the future. So, bye-bye.